Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another amazing episode of the Daily African Proverbs. Thank you so much, AD and Jihad, for joining me on Clubhouse. I am also live streaming today's session on YouTube. You can join me live on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Simon Javan Okello, and I'm excited to be here with you for today's session, of the Daily African Proverbs. We have an amazing proverb that is my currently pinned tweet, and it says, "Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet." Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. This is an African proverb that is shared in many parts of the African continent, it's a warning type of proverb. It warns you that, if you think that something is risky, don't throw yourself fully into it, but slowly test what result or what impact it might have on you. If we go by my current situation, where my Instagram account has been hacked since last Monday, I feel that this proverb also applies. If I was as quick in thinking as some of the people who have also been approached by the same hacker, I would have probably not trusted them, especially because the hacker approached me through a friend's account that they had hacked. So I completely ignored a lot of red flags, and now my Instagram account is actually being used to basically defraud other people. So it's something that is very present in my life at the moment, and I just feel that if I saw this proverb earlier, I would have probably been a little wiser. But this proverb also, as a father of 3 girls, it's something that is present for me all the time. Whenever I warn, for example, my youngest daughter, who is a little over 2 years, whenever I ask her, hey, don't climb the table, she never listens for the most part until she trips and falls down. Until something happens is when she changes her strategy. So this proverb is it wants us to pay attention to the risks that exist, and also to be calculative in how we respond to those risks. Typically here in the Daily African Proverbs, I love it when people who have joined me for the session can also come on stage and share their interpretations of this proverb. Typically, we give each person who joins me on stage, that is on Clubhouse, a minute or two to just share a little bit about what it is that this proverb means to you. For those who are just joining, the proverb says, "Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet." Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. This is an amazing African proverb, and I am curious. I want to see what this proverb means to you. Yesterday we also had an amazing conversation here in the African Father in America Club, where we also talked about another proverb after a long time. I'd been off of Clubhouse, and I have not been live streaming the Daily African Proverbs for about 3 weeks. I was traveling to Kenya, and I'm really excited about what I saw there, and some of the work I'm doing there, and I'm just settling down enough so that I can start responding to some of the opportunities. I'm editing some of the content from my trip, and it was just a beautiful experience. So look out for some of that. I might play some clips from my trip just to give you guys an idea of how it was. And I also did a lot of research around Proverbs. I talked to a number of people, ordinary people, people in rural areas, people in villages, about the importance of African proverbs to them, and they shared with me some proverbs in their own communities that I will be sharing here in the Daily African Proverbs in the coming days. I do want to just make sure I am not taking over this conversation about today's proverb. The proverb again says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. I was sharing earlier that this proverb is very, very relevant to me personally, as a father of 3 girls, and also, as a media creator and someone who uses social media for example, right now, I'm on Clubhouse. I have to use Instagram and Twitter and other platforms to promote the Daily African Proverbs and a number of other things that I do. But that also means risking, you have to protect all your accounts. You have to sometimes learn the hard way. And I was sharing the story of my Instagram account being hacked because I trusted communication from a friend's account. Little did I know that friend's account had also been hacked. And so, I just feel that this proverb is relevant to that situation. But I'm curious. I want to see what you all think about this proverb as well. And first, I just want to, recognize your presence here. I see Kelsey, I see Tara, I also see Mala and Aris. I see Jihad. I think Jihad is, joining us here in the Daily African Proverbs for the first time. And I also see Thomas. I think Thomas and I met recently when we were advocating against the situation in Libya. Thomas, by the way, you can come up and speak about that in a moment. Feel free. And then I see Mickey. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sure we connected through the Namibia Club. Through Tutaleni, and same to Sarah. Thank you all for being here. Again, this is the Daily African Proverbs. Whenever we open this room, I believe that, I am making my ancestors smile. I'm making them proud, because it's not every day that you go to spaces and find people discussing African proverbs and gaining African wisdom from them. So I don't want to do this alone. Feel free to raise your hand. I will turn off hand raising at 6:30. And, if there's no one else on stage, I will be creative and I will share a little bit of, clips from my trip. And I will also share a little bit of yesterday's content, and just find ways of engaging us creatively. For now, I want to give a chance to Thomas. Thomas, feel free to share your interpretation of today's proverb. The proverb says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. And also feel free to speak about what's going on in Libya and how everyone in this room can be helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon, for inviting me again. I really appreciate that. And then thanks also for letting us use your platform to raise awareness about the refugee situation in Eritrea. In Libya, and I really appreciate that. And thank you, my brother. So the interpretation of the proverb, I felt like I kind of go along the same route that you just said. For me, like the way I would interpret it is when something is not going to work out, like there are warning signs, red lights flashing all over. You ignore them, and because as humans, we tend to hope something good will come out of it. And then we tend to ignore those signs in the hope of ignoring the situation. So in this case, like I would like to give an example. There was a while back, I was in a relationship. I was dating this girl and I really liked her. But what ended up happening was I ignored all the warning signs that were there that was telling me this is not going to work out and this is going to come down crashing. But I didn't listen to those signs, so I jumped in the water with both feet, to the deep end. And what ended up happening is just like the warning signs, all of it just came down crashing on me. So I felt like that's what the proverb is like. It's just saying if you're a fool, you will ignore the warning sign, but if you're not, you won't. But that's what that meant in my interpretation. And then what's going on in Libya currently, right now in Libya, there are over 4,000 African refugees from Eritrea, Somalia, Ethiopia, and I believe Nigeria, and then Chad, Sudan. So at the beginning of October, the Libyan forces, they conducted a raid in some of the neighborhood that used to house the refugees, and they rounded up over 4,000 refugees, and then they put them in a detention center, and those detention center are packed and they're like in an inhumane condition, so they don't have access to clean water, medical supply, food, and other necessity things that helps them survive for life. And so that's what's been happening. And among those 4,000, a few of them escaped, and right now they are camping outside of the UNHCR Libya office. And UNHCR or the International Red Cross or the IOM, they have not been able to provide anything for those refugees. Most of them are sleeping on the side of the street every night. And I'm not sure if any one of you have been to the Sahara Desert or to the Middle East. During the daytime, the temperature can get up to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and then at nighttime it can get below freezing, and it's very cold. So they've been in those conditions since the beginning of October. And among those 4,000 refugees, also 540 are women. About 35, if I'm not mistaken, are pregnant, and there are children also. And these women have been subjected to various violence, including sexual assault. And so that's what's been happening. And everyone in this room can contribute or can raise awareness by tweeting. And then also there's a petition on my bio, and we need about 4,000, a little bit over 4,000 signatures. So that's what we're missing. And then also you can tweet about it, and all of it is in my bio. Thank you, Simon. I'm Thomas. I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for sharing with us your interpretation of today's proverb, and also for sharing with us, what's going on in Libya and how everyone in this room can be involved in helping. Thank you, everyone in the room. Mala, Tiff, and Mumsey, Jabba, Alex, Aris, Tara, Kelsey, Jihad, Meke, Sarah, MK, and I also see Sami too. Welcome. This is the Daily African Proverbs. We are in the African Father in America Club. Remember to follow the club, and that way, you can be informed whenever we have this room. I haven't been on for a few weeks. I was in Kenya. I was sharing this earlier, and so yesterday was the first time I held this room after about 3 weeks. We are live streaming on YouTube as well, so feel free to join us there. I'm just grateful. We are discussing a proverb that says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. I am live tweeting, so join us on Twitter so that we can also continue the conversation there. Mala, thank you so much for the retweets and for quoting the current conversations and just helping create awareness. I want to hear from you. For those who are meeting Mala for the first time, she says, I amplify nouns, I believe in and move crowds. She's in digital engagement as a strategist and problem solver, and she's also a social curator, virtual host, paid Clubhouse moderator, and an Android beta tester. Thank you so much, Mala, for your continued support. Share with us your interpretation. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. This is just such a beautiful space that is curated, and I've missed it even though I've been productive, right? So it's like, wait, am I missing it? Is it not happening? So just grateful that you have had safe travels and that we are back together. And as relates to today's proverb, it impresses upon me the importance of wisdom. Because with wisdom, you are aware of the tools at your disposal and you use the right tools for the right situation. So only a fool tests the depths of the river with both feet, meaning I'm going to jump into depths that I am not aware of and hope for the best. But if it's shallow, I will survive. But if it is deep, I could die. And so for me, it is just impressing upon the wisdom of, maybe there's a rod or there's a staff or a stick that I could use to test before jumping in. Maybe there's something I can throw in the water to see if I can see when it goes down. Maybe I can observe different things in the water to see how far the depths to prove me not a fool. So for me, it is the ability to use wisdom and the tools at your disposal in the proper manner to get the understanding and the awareness of any situation. So just to walk in wisdom, to use the tools at your disposal, and to be clear what tool to use in what situation. This is Marla, and I'm complete.
Wow, thank you so much, Mala. I'm grateful for your share, and thank you for being here with us today. Stay on stage. I'll seek your thoughts in regards to closing comments later on. But I want to take this opportunity to also, congratulate Geronimo. I think Geronimo is celebrating exactly 1 year since he joined Clubhouse. Yes. So again, Geronimo joined us here yesterday for the first time, and he was able to share some amazing nuggets with us. Thank you for being here again. I want to hear from my wonderful sister and friend and co-creator of this space, actually, Tiff Countryman, who believes that you are absolutely limitless, and she's going to help you believe that you are absolutely limitless too. Tiff, share with us your interpretation of today's proverb. It says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. Thank you so much for being here.
Grand Rising, Simon. It has been far too long since the two of us have had the opportunity to share a stage, and I am so glad that I have the opportunity to come and fellowship in the Daily African Proverbs room under the African Father in America Club, of which I have had the pleasure of being here for since the beginning, and it's so amazing that it is still going on today. My interpretation of the proverb is only a fool tests the depth of a river with both feet. The proverb today is only a fool tests the depth of a river with both feet. So my interpretation is that it's more so of a warning. They say that warning comes before destruction. I see this proverb as a warning to maintain some sort of foundation, some sort of stability, if you will. As a millennial and as a creative and as someone that allows their gifts to be used freely, it can be so easy to want to just take the leap and jump in and float away. However, it's very important to have a stabilizing force that even though you may put one foot in the water to see how strong the current may be or which way it's flowing or even how deep it is, you still have that one foot on the ground that you can always lean back on, that you could put most of your weight on, that you can know with a certainty that is not going to remove itself from beneath you. So when I read this proverb, my interpretation is a warning as we continue to, move forward in life, in our endeavors, business opportunities, or if you're getting a promotion at work, with your family, rearing kids, being that perfect partner to your significant other, whatever your journey is, I believe it's a warning to maintain that foundation. Thank you so much for allowing me to share, Simon. This is Tiff, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tiff. Wow. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to hear your voice, and I'm grateful for your interpretation. And it's true, warning comes before destruction. A lot of the time we ignore the warnings, and, the warning might even come a second time, and we still ignore it. So thank you for such a beautiful reminder. I want to hear from Sarah. Sarah, I want to just say your last name because I want to give it a shot, then you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Hamunyela. And Sarah is a consistent attendee of the Daily African Proverbs. She's a development economics scholar. Sarah, share with us your thoughts about today's proverb, and then we'll hear from Lexi Malone after that. Thank you so much.
Hi, Simon, and thank you for the opportunity. And honestly, I've missed this space. For the time that we have not been having this room, it really makes my afternoons. And I was so glad yesterday to see that you're back on air. About the proverb, for me, it's similar to what Maula and Tiff countrymen said, that it's really important on us to appreciate wisdom, that we have to take caution whenever we are getting into something. And at the same time, it also reads in the same line as a popular proverb that says, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So for us, especially young ladies, when you're getting into a job, or you're getting into a career, or you're getting into a relationship, it's really important that you first appreciate the wisdom of gauging on what you're getting into before you really jump in full force. It's really a precautionary proverb type of that. Is how I understand it. My name is Sarah Hamunyela, like you said, and I am done speaking.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm grateful. And it's also true that you should never put all your eggs in one basket. I was thinking about that at the very beginning, and to be so wise and manage to have your eggs in different baskets. You have to be like what the proverb yesterday was saying, that if you're not afraid of the fire, if you're afraid of the fire, you cannot be a leader. So meaning that for you to master the art of safely keeping your most critical things in life, whether it's your work, like you're saying, whether it's your financial security, in different baskets, and do it in a way that you feel confident and comfortable. It has to be probably generational wealth, or you have to be very, very dedicated and disciplined, but it's possible. And I feel like these proverbs sometimes can guide you to a good place in life, especially if you engage with them consistently, and if you're in a community of people that engage with them consistently. For me, I feel like it's kind of therapy for me, and I think that's why I missed it the most. Anyway, let's hear from Lexi Malone now. And Lexi is also an amazing contributor to the Daily African Proverbs. I'm so grateful that you're here. And Lexi is a voiceover artist by choice, and people love her voice. The mic is yours, Lexi.
Grand Rising, everyone. I definitely missed this space and you, Simon. So glad that you are back. Glad to see everyone's lovely profile pictures today. Loved every share that already happened today. Definitely did give me some different perspectives to look at. And as you know, Simon, I do always like kind of interpret everything in terms to self-awareness because I actually feel that we're in control of ourselves only. So when you know that and you can develop on that, then, that's why I always kind of use everything in terms of interpreting it in terms of me personally so that it can help me out. But what I thought here was just like Marla, Tiff, Sarah said. I really loved what Tiff said about it being a warning because that is correct. It could definitely, most certainly be a warning. But what I was actually thinking about it is I was actually thinking that, in life, all of us have played the fool at least 1 to 2 times, if not more, because I know good and well I done played the fool many times and put both feet in and drowned, went straight under. But it's been many times that I put both feet in and I actually swam. And so it to me, I kind of took that interpretation and I was like, fool, even though at one point in life we can play the fool and jump in with both feet and drown, that is how you learn if you don't die. So it's like, as long as we know that at some point you're going to be a fool because that's how fools learn, by jumping in with both feet. So that's how I interpreted it. I was looking at it because, like I said, I have played the fool many times, and I can't speak for anyone else. I know I've been a fool plenty of times. So I just take it as that. That is how fools learn, is by sticking feet in and learning not to do that again. So it's just like, okay, now I know that I need to test things prior to jumping in head first. So that's my interpretation today. Thank you so much, Simon. I greatly miss you, my bro. And just glad to be here and share this space with you all. Thank you. I'm Lexi. I am out.
Thank you so much, Lexi. This is Simon speaking. I agree. I agree that all of us have been, I've been foolish sometime, and in those times when, we find ourselves being the fools, we've tested. I have personally tested, the river with both feet a lot, and those are the times when I've learned the most. I want to welcome you all to the Daily African Proverbs. We are in the African Father in America Club. I am also live streaming today's conversation on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Simon Javan Okelo. So today's conversation is going to be available for you to watch there right after this Clubhouse conversation, and it's also going to be available as a podcast episode by in the next hour or so. You can catch this podcast episode on all podcasting platforms, and share your thoughts currently on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at Okelo Javan. We are live tweeting, and really I'm grateful for all your love and support. We are discussing a proverb that is really amazing. The proverb says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. And I want to hear what Jihad has to say about this. Jihad is joining us here for the first time, and he says, all is vanity. Love is the only ambition and aim. Share with us your thoughts on today's proverb, Jihad, just for a minute or two. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah. So, a fool tested the river with both feet. So a lot of times I like Proverbs for the most part. So I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? A river is something that flows, right? So it's not some stagnant thing. And obviously something that's probably a new territory. So a lot of times though, I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? I remember growing up, my pops would say, hey, a bird in the hand is better than two in the nest. There's that probability. Are you going to risk all that? And I do a little trading here and there in regards to like stocks, and I've I've seen what a bad stock can do. You risk probably 3,000-4,000 or something, and it goes down 70-80%, and then you're stuck. So it's just like it's all about like, hey, you know what, mitigation and management. The idea is like, all right, you know what, you understand what is a probability. There's a probability of success in going in there, but are you going to risk? Is it worth risking all of it, right? So it's just like, hey, you know what, have like, I think somebody else says, have one foot pivoted on land, and you can test it. You can test it with test with another foot, or have somebody there, who's able to hold you up. You know what I mean? If something does go wrong, right? If you're leaning forward in that new territory, in that new river, in that new water. So yeah, that's mine.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jihad. When you speak, I just want to listen. So you're welcome to the Daily African Proverbs. I hope I'll see you tomorrow and the day after that. We love building a community of people that, believe in African culture. We do this to preserve our culture. So that's part of why we document all our conversations here so that we can share it with our kids and our family members, and to really change the narrative about Africa, one proverb at a time. We are going to hear from Mumsey, who is an amazing leader and a mover and a shaker, not just on this app, but also in real life across many countries in the continent. Mumsey serves children and communities living in extreme poverty so that they can be provided with basic human needs. Mumsey, what's your interpretation of this proverb that says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet? Thank you so much.
Hello, Simon, and hello, everybody. It's great to be here. Um, my interpretation of this proverb is it made me think of we say in French, la confiance n'exclut pas la méfiance. That means that if you trust anything you're trusting, it doesn't remove the fact that you also have to check, right? You also have to check. Even if you trust somebody completely, always do your duty to check. And so for me, it's like if you trust anything, make sure you also do your homework. Don't just go to with 2 feet in the relationship, whether you're hiring someone to do a job for you, or you're trusting someone with your family, your money, or like we said, someone said earlier, you're jumping in a relationship. The person can be all shiny and tell you all kinds of good things, and if the person, let's say, wants to marry you, you can marry the person without checking, right? Without checking everything, if it really clears up. So a fool is the person who goes in any agreement without doing the checking. And it doesn't mean that you don't trust the person. It doesn't mean that you it just means that you're a fool if you go in without checking and making sure. That's what the proverb said to me. Thank you so much for being here, Simon. You're so amazing. Great to be in your space, in this place. And I'm done speaking. I'm Mumsey.
Thank you so much, Mumsy. I love your interpretation. And, I just love also how you shared that even if you trust someone completely, or if you trust something completely, your responsibility is still to do your homework, do your due diligence about them, so that you completely have confidence in why you're trusting them. I love that. Thank you so much. Geronimo, happy Clubhouse anniversary. Let's just have a few mic taps, for Geronimo, who today is celebrating 1 year since he joined Clubhouse. Geronimo, thank you for being here, and take a moment, share with us your interpretation of today's proverb. Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet, but also related to your experience on Clubhouse. Have you been in a situation where this proverb applies, especially in regards to your Clubhouse experience?
Peace. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good night, wherever you are in the world. Simon, thank you, and appreciate all the 1 year Clubhouse. Love from everybody on stage. Let me see if I can make this quick. So, 2 points. I want to follow up on something that I heard Lexi speak on about how we were all a fool at one point, at some point in our lives. Some people once or twice, others multiple times. I definitely myself can relate to being a fool multiple times. And even this proverb made me think about how I would not even truly understand the meaning of it had I not recognized early on in my life how much of a fool I was, having led a very sheltered life, um, and but rebelling against it, and recognizing that I didn't really know how the world worked and how people worked because of some of the many negative interactions that I was having with people, and it's because I just didn't know. I was too trusting. I gave everybody the benefit of the doubt. I didn't really have a good understanding of intuition or being able to read people and things like that. And so throughout time, trial and error, I began to realize, okay, Geronimo, just dip your toe in. Don't be 100% trusting. You know, give people just a little bit before you give them your all. And so that is how I even got to this point of being able to really know what the proverb means in my life and how it applies to other people in general at this point. Now, as far as Clubhouse goes, my experience on Clubhouse, um, I mean, by the time I found Clubhouse, I had already had many life experiences. And coming into the first rooms that I went on to last October, um, I came in as a listener to test the waters, to kind of get an understanding of like, okay, what are the conversations that are being had on this platform? I pretty much figured it out pretty quickly. It was pretty bare bones. Didn't have nearly as many of the features as it does now, and it was still maybe only maybe about 10,000 or so people on the app at that point. But I just sat back and listened, and when I heard a conversation that I wanted to jump into, I just come up on the stage. I would happen to see some people that I knew and talk with them, as well as getting to talk with people that I didn't know, which continues to this day on Clubhouse. But I haven't really had bad experiences on Clubhouse, and I would have to say that's mostly due to me being a very observant person and me every day applying this proverb into my own life.
Thank you so much. I love that. Your observation leads to your experience. I think that's how I want to summarize everything you just shared with us. Your observation leads to your experience, leads to where you spend your time, leads to the people that you interact with. So thank you so much, Geronimo, for that. Now we want to hear from Altovis. If you're meeting Altovis for the first time, she's an amazing leader. She's an author of actually many books. She's the host of the Speak Easy podcast, and she's also a women's empowerment speaker and a visionary author. Altovis, share with us your interpretation of today's proverb. And this proverb says that I have to read it so that I'm very accurate. It says, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. Thank you so much, Altovis. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Simon. I appreciate you and the space that you create. Listening in this morning, this this proverb was a reminder, um, because what I saw was that people are going to the river unprepared, um, unprepared for what could potentially happen, and not utilizing their resources. So it made me go back and ask myself, what are my resources and where are my resources? Because if I'm coming to the river and I have resources that can test the depth of the river, then I don't have to jump in at all. But I have to understand my resources. And oftentimes we go in unprepared to a situation because the resources, we left them at home, or we don't think that they're valuable. And because resources are valuable to the person that's using them. But because we're not using them, we don't see the value in it. So sometimes we have to understand that we're coming with strength. We're coming with wisdom, understanding, experience, but also we have resources, be it a conversation with a friend, a mentor, a coach, any number of things. We have access to resources. And when we utilize those resources that we have, then I don't have to jump into the river with both feet because I have things that will test the depth of the river. This is Altovis, and I yield my mic.
Altovis, thank you. This is Simon speaking. I'm really grateful for what you had to share. That you shared so many gems, but what stuck out for me is that resources are valuable, especially to people that use them. You could be sitting on immense mineral wealth, but because you don't even have the tools to mine them and turn them into products that can be sold, you're just sitting on it. And then one day, this happens so many times in Africa, but I realized that this actually happens so many times to us on a day-to-day basis. So really, you have to be aware of what resources you have that you can invest in that moment when you need to put either 1 feet or 2 feet into the river to test its depth. Thank you so much. And welcome everyone to the Daily African Proverbs. This room happens every single day, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Long time ago, not long time ago, but long time ago, this room used to happen at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And when the school season started, I think in September actually, we changed it to 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And over the last 3 weeks, I was traveling. I was in Kenya, for personal and business reasons. And I missed being in this room, And one of my favorite things was the communication from people that were not seeing this room. We scheduled quite a few of these rooms. I was excited to actually bring the Daily African Proverbs from Africa and to bring in guests live, but it was so challenging, and I had so much to accomplish within a very short time. So I recorded a lot of content that I will be sharing in the next few weeks. So please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Simon Javan Okelo. I am currently live streaming this conversation there. So if you missed any part of it, you can catch it there as well. And tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, here on Clubhouse, we will be hosting an amazing conversation in the One Vibe Africa Club that you should not miss. And the topic is 7 hidden travel gems in Africa. We've been doing that weekly as well, and with that session, I was actually able to broadcast it from Kenya. With that, I want to welcome Paul. Paul is joining us for the first time. Paul Ngafua, and Paul says that he helps people achieve their financial goals through credit and entrepreneurship. Paul, today's proverb says, "Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet." Share with us your interpretation briefly. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I came in just I forgot the gentleman name, but I really like what the lady before me said. I resonate with that. Yeah, definitely. If you can have all the I mean, you like. I have a friend who constantly learning and learning and learning, but he's not going out there to execute. And I had to help him, um, like to start executing some of the things that he's learning. So we sat down, we put together a game plan, and one thing he was missing was that he had bad credit. You can learn how to start a trucking business or run a successful business with bad credit. So the first thing I did was help him make sure his credit was right, and then from there I showed him how to leverage his credit to start a trucking business. So even though he had the knowledge on starting a trucking business, growing up multi-millionaire trucking business within a year, but he had no, he never had, the credit or the money to get that going. You can have all the knowledge about something, but a lot of time, you know, um, you're missing something, to execute that. And he was one of those. He just constantly learning about trucking and starting a trucking business. He had all the knowledge. He could teach somebody how to do it, but he couldn't do it. You know, and I think, that's my interpretation.
Well, thank you very much, my brother Paul, for sharing with us such a powerful story. And I agree. Sometimes you could have so many ideas of what's possible, and unless you have someone who holds your hand and shows you how to take it from an idea to something tangible, it might just remain an idea. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a resource for other people as well. I want to welcome MK on stage. MK says that a little act done out of love is worth so much. Please share with us your interpretation of today's proverb. The proverb says that only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. And to those who are joining us for the first time, and welcome Enrica, and welcome Roger. I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you for being here. And Alex, welcome to the Daily African Proverbs. Please remember to follow the African Father in America Club. I am so grateful, and I want to pass it to MK to share with us her interpretation of today's proverb. Thank you so much. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Simon, and hello to everyone. With this proverb, I have two examples that I want to share. First is friendship, and the other one is business ideas. I think we should all assess our situations before you open the other door of life. And I'm going to go with the new friends. At times, the new friends that you meet can be related to your river of life. And some friends are deep, while some are shallow. Don't jump at friendship proposals or give people your whole heart except you have tested the depth. And this, I am really weak with this situation when making friends. I'm very social, and I find that people take advantage of me. So I end up losing some friends. Apart from friendship, some juicy business ideas may appear to be very good to be true, but they turn out to be deceptive. So, in conclusion, just don't be too foolish to jump into the rivers of riches. You need to test the depths of the river before you start swimming. May you swim and never get drowned. I mute my mic.
Thank you so much, MK. I love everything you shared with us today. I'm so grateful, and I hope to see you more often. And welcome Reem and Alexander to the Daily African Proverbs. I have a guest with me now live on YouTube. His name is Rafael Hari. He's a consistent contributor to the Daily African Proverbs. He's also the host of the White Label America podcast. Rafael, please just say hi to everyone real quick and share your interpretation briefly. And then I want to go back to the stage on Clubhouse. I want to give each person on stage that just a 30-second opportunity to share with us your closing remark in regards to today's conversation. And then Rafael is going to close us out. So Rafael, please go ahead.
Yay, salutations, everybody. Happy anniversary to our brother Geronimo. I'm getting used to pronouncing your name. And sorry for joining late today. Somehow my Clubhouse was all over the place, so I did not see the room when I tried to look for it earlier on. So I've been enjoying what I've heard so far, and I missed out a whole bunch from earlier on. But it's been going great so far, and I look forward to hearing the rest of everybody's remaining comments. And yeah, let's keep it going. And where's our brother Steven? You know, you thought I'll forget? I won't forget. Where's our brother Steven? I'm still moving that petition. So everybody here, join me in that petition. We got to bring Steven on board. He's got to be our special guest soon. I know Simon thought I forgot.
Oh, you're very funny. You will have to host him on your show. You know, you'll have to host him on your show as a guest and ask him any
I might
questions.
move to hosting
Yeah.
Steven first before I host you.
Oh, he felt ambushed yesterday. You know, it was his first time on Clubhouse, and then suddenly, we bring him on stage and ask him to share his interpretation of the proverb. So, he's not going to come back soon unless you go and visit with him in Kenya. Yeah, but I want
We got
to.
him. We got him. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
That's why I have to keep coming after you. Don't worry. Just send him the clip of myself coming after you. It's all right.
no problem. No problem. I want to welcome everyone to the Daily African Proverbs, especially, Elijah, who is an amazing supporter of, my work here on Clubhouse, and just an amazing leader that you should all follow, actually. I'll just make you a moderator here so that everyone can connect with you. Elijah, what we are doing here is we have an African proverb that is currently my pinned tweet, and everyone comes on stage and they share their interpretation of this proverb. Our hope is that by the end of the room, we gain some African wisdom so that we approach our day with some confidence, knowing that we've made our ancestors smile. So the proverb is, only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet. I would love to invite you, Elijah, just to share with us your thoughts in a moment. But I want to ask Thomas to share his closing remarks, and then Mala, and then Sarah. And then when we get to MK, we'll come back to Elijah to share a few words, and then we'll go to Jay, who also just joined us on stage, and then we'll go to Rafael, who is with me live on YouTube. We are also live streaming today's conversation on YouTube. My channel is Simon Javan Okelo, and join us there if you have a moment as well, and if you want to see our faces. Okay,
Send me the link, Simon, in the back channel.
I'll do that right away. Thank you so much. Okay, Thomas, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Simon, again. Thank you for the opportunity. I think this is my second time in Daily African Proverb Room, and so far I I'm feeling like I am being connected to my ancestors, and I appreciate you doing that, Simon. It means a lot to me because I'm completely lost. So this is very important for me, and I appreciate that. And then my second thing I want to say is to everyone in this room, if you look at my PTR right now, me and some of my friends, we are doing a campaign to raise awareness the conditions of the African refugees in Libya. All the information is in my bio. Please help us tweet and raise awareness so they can get help from Red Cross, UNHCR, and other NGOs and governments. They are in a very inhumane condition. So please join me in that campaign. And then also, please, if you could sign the petition. I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Thomas. I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Let's hear from Mala. Just tweet size closing remarks. Thank you so much. This is Simon. We'll move on to Sarah. Oh, here you are.
Sorry, Simon.
Go ahead. No.
I was just trying
Go
to get
ahead.
out of the thank you, everyone, for just all the ways that you illuminated the proverb. Grateful to share space with you. I guess my closing remark is that for us to just be mindful to taste the words that we serve others, so that we can make sure that they are helpful or pleasing or encouraging, and that we can continue to amplify the efforts of the things that we become aware of, and just be better brothers and sisters to one another, siblings, and better global citizens. That there's so much going on, it would be deceptive to think that we could stay on top of it. But rooms like this allow us to tap in. And now we have to take up the charge and follow up on these calls to action. So thank you so much. Love to everyone in the room. This is Marlon. I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much, Mala. I appreciate your support, especially your support on Twitter. By the way, I'm looking for help with live tweeting when the Daily African Proverbs is happening. So if you're interested, just DM me and I'll send you a sign-up sheet for volunteering to help with, live tweeting during the Daily African Proverbs. Sarah, the mic is yours. Just briefly, your closing remarks.
Thank you, Simon. My closing remarks are just to say, as we try to be learners in life, let's not be so fearful that we do not test the water with both feet, but that's the only way we can learn. And I think we also have to be very, very eager to get some, or to gain some knowledge and wisdom through this kind of platform, because we really learn a lot from your platform. Thank you.
You're most welcome, and thank you for your continued support. Lexi, briefly share with us your closing remarks.
Absolutely. I'm just so happy to share this space with you guys every day. I just love hearing everybody's interpretation and different perspective, because it always helps your own life to hear someone else's perspective and know what others' thoughts are. And I was actually just sitting here going through Elijah Joy's Instagram, because when I'm listening, I go through and I follow everybody on the stage, everybody on the in the room, and I look at and I follow on Instagram and everything. And one thing that I really wanted to reflect on that Elijah Joy has on the page is we can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist. Mr. James Baldwin, whom I absolutely love. And I also should see that you have Queen Afua, which is one of, like, oh my gosh, I adore her. So I'm just sitting, reflecting, and just to be able to connect with some of the people, Marla, Tiff, Sarah, everybody on the stage, for me to be able to connect with you guys is very, very important to me, because I'm a lover of everybody. I see the God in everybody. I don't look for God in the sky anymore, because I know I'm surrounded by him. I treat everybody as if they were Jesus Christ. You know why? Because that is where Jesus lies, right in our hearts, right in our souls. We have to be understanding of that and know that when we are looking at ourselves, we have to see the God in ourselves, and then look around us and see the God that's all around us, and begin to treat that God that's all around us as if they were God, and not like we're treating other people, and judgment and all of these things that we have around us. We gotta just be remembering of the fact of the God that is in us and the God that is in everyone else, despite what we see. Thank you. I'm Lexi.
Oh, Lexi, we need to give you, your space. I need to host you as a guest soon. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Jihad, just closing comments, tweet size, please.
Yeah, the closing comments in regards to the proverb, I guess I'll just say, hey, it's always about chance, right? And the idea is like, let's not let's not risk all of what we have in a chance that may make us lose everything, of course. So just, hey, understand the probability and count the cost. And like somebody else says, use your tools, right? 1 foot in, test the water before.
Thank you so much. Mumsey, your closing comments.
Yes. All I can say as closing is I still see a big positive because it sounds like we are being all too cautious. The big positive that I see is that you already decided to try it, right? We're trying. We decided to try. It's just that when we go for trying, we go carefully. So I see it's a very positive proverb, and I've learned a lot from the other points of views. And let's get this wisdom, and may everybody have a great day today. Thank you for having me here, Simon. I'm Mumsy, and I'm done.
Thank you so much, Mumsy. I'm grateful. Geronimo, share with us your closing remarks, please.
Well, echoing much of what I heard on the stage is I'll close with saying that even though again we've all been a fool at one point, hopefully many of us, all of us have learned from those mistakes and are now able to test the waters with only one foot, and when we're going into unfamiliar territory or around unfamiliar people. But I think the most important thing is being somebody who loves culture, loves meeting new people, loves learning about new people, and going to new environments, knowing how to balance the two, and not allowing one to stop you from doing the other. And yeah, so I'll close with that.
Wow, thank you. Thank you again, Geronimo. Hey, Altovis, the mic is yours.
I'll just say one thing: value your resources, the people, the information, the experiences that you have around you. Value your resources. This is Altovis, and I am complete.
Thank you, Altovis. And Paul, Tweet Size, thank you so much. Your closing remarks.
Oh, sorry, been busy. Uh, well, just uh, um, based on my previous comment, when you learn, apply, learn, apply. Don't just overload yourself with information and not execute it. You know, um, and I agree with what everybody said.
Thank you so much. MK, share with us your closing remarks, please. Thank you so much.
Oh, mine is short. In your journey in life, it's better to just learn from your circumstances and situations around than to get drawn by the lack of experience. It's been great to be here. I mute my mic. I'm Cindy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Jay, I know that, I wish you were here at the beginning, but I just want you to share your closing remarks. Today's proverb has been amazing, and I just want to hear your voice. For those who don't know the proverb that we've been discussing, it's currently my pinned tweet. It says, "Only a fool tests the depth of the river with both feet." This is also a live streamed conversation. You can catch it right now or after this conversation here on Clubhouse. You will also be able to get it as a podcast episode later on in the next hour or so. So I want to hear from you, Jay, and then David. Then we'll give it to Elijah to just share with us how you feel about today's conversation and your thoughts about the proverb. Jay, the mic is yours.
Thank you, dear brother Simon. I absolutely love this proverb. And the first thing that came to mind is that we need to learn not to be reckless and careless and irresponsible with our words and in situations and circumstances that we need to just kind of wait and be patient and test it first, get a feel for what's going on, get a feel for what's happening. I think about a child that just kind of barges in. They don't think about, or they'll try something. They're not thinking about the dangers. It doesn't occur to them. It doesn't cross their minds. But as they mature, they're taught and they're shown, they learn to use discernment. With that, I will conclude my contribution to the proverb. Thank you, dear brother.
Thank you so much, Jay. I'm grateful that you're here. David, share with us your closing remarks as well on today's proverb. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon. And yeah, today was quite a beginning for me in the morning. But just to quickly summarize, I would say that uh, as a human being, as a person, you should always be considerate. Uh, you should always jump into a situation after thinking about the consequences. You should listen to people around you and try to listen both from your heart and logically. And also just to make sure that you don't feel bossy. Give people a chance also while you are looking at situations or problems. If you do that, if you embrace the different situation that you are in, and also you just listen a little more with your heart, I think that would actually make you not just do the thing that most people sometimes do, make decisions without thinking upfront. So that is my interpretation for today. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you so much, David, for your presence and for your continued support. We are going to hear from Elijah now, and then after that, Rafael Hari, who is with me live on YouTube, is going to close us out. I'm so grateful for your presence. That's to everybody in the room. I just want to give a quick shout out to Faline, Ron, Amber, Fred, Meredith, Justin, Tommy, Tara, Roger, Dr. Wanda, and Aris, who are joining us and are not on stage. Elijah, the mic is yours. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Simon. I mean, I don't know if I could say anything much different than anyone else has said about the quote. And just to reset for those in the room, the proverb is only a fool tests the depths of the river with both feet. And so I would say that maybe putting it in the context of uh, Clubhouse, you could say read the room. So, and I mean, without elaborating too much, because I want you to end your show. Read the room. It's important, I think, to also, um, for any kind of variables. Maybe you will not harmonize with that atmosphere. Maybe don't know enough about that water. Maybe, maybe there's something dangerous in that water. So, maybe there's treasure in the water too. So, I love the quote. I mean, it's giving me a lot to think about. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I will just go on mute right now. And thank you so much, Simon. And happy birthday to Geronimo. Happy Clubhouse birthday to Geronimo.
Thank you so much. I just love your perspectives, and I'm grateful for your presence. Rafael, close us out, please. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you again for having me here as always. Three quick things. I don't know who said it because that was I joined in right after she started talking. But she said even if you trust someone or something, it's still your responsibility to do due diligence on them. And that's like my summary. That's my main takeaway from today because every time I've been betrayed in life, which is one reason why I'm not someone who believes in religion anymore, because it's always people from one particular religion who do that to me. Yeah, that's I didn't do due diligence, so that's one of the reasons why I don't bother myself with religion. But the two other things I would like to touch on, the second thing in particular touches is kind of like it was the first thing that came to my mind when I heard today's proverb. When I was 16, I had this dream, and I dreamt. I was just about to turn 17 because it had what the dream literally predicted was. It happened right before I turned 17, but I was 16 years plus, and I dreamt that I was on a canoe with someone who was a mulatto because he was half black, half white. But I never knew. I didn't have any friend. He was friendly with me, but I didn't have anybody in my circle who was of that description, who fit that description. And we got to the middle of the river, and the person pushed me, and I fell into the river, and I sank into the river, and I went to the bottom, and for some reason, I just walked at the bottom of the river, and I came out of the river, and I was like, why'd you do that, man? Kind of thing. And there was like an argument, and I woke up, and I told my guardian then, who's like hardcore, all Jesus and all that, and she like prayed, and yeah, life went on. And about a month or two, the guy who transferred to my school literally looked like the person from the dream. His parents were half black, half white, and it was still something that belonged to my sister, which I borrowed it to him, but he stole it, moved out, he never returned it back. I couldn't. It would take over a year for me to like go get it, which meant having to get people to threaten to beat him. But we had to track him, and we lived in a huge city. Took resources to find this guy. We didn't have internet. We didn't have all the stuff, so it meant you got to go and meet people in this neighborhood, go to this neighborhood, go to that neighborhood. And after a year of tracking, and someone came one day, was like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't know you're looking for somebody. I know this guy. Because we call them it's kind of derogatory. We'll call them half caste." And he said, "Oh, I know one half caste in this area. That might be the guy." That's how we found him. But it was over a year, and that's when the day we got the stuff that he had stolen from me, which I've been accused at home of stealing, which I never stole because I never stole from my house. I never even stole from anybody. But it was very heartbreaking to be accused of stealing because of this guy. But the day I got it back, because he refused to even show his face because he felt we were going to beat him up. I came with like big boys too. That was me back then. His mom handed over the item to us. Luckily, he didn't sell it. I retook it, and I was walking back home. Then it flashed in my mind that I literally dreamt of somebody pushing me off out of the canoe into the river, and I sank. So both feet, and for some reason that just stayed in my mind. And but it took over a year for me to remember that, I dreamt of this thing happening, but it just washed out of my mind because somebody prayed, and then it wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm just putting that there. I'm not going to add anything, but just had to mention that. The last thing that I will say is it was brought up at last during the episode I released last week on my podcast. I was talking to a wonderful sister who was born in Monrovia during she got to see the beginning of the civil war in Liberia, and she's fantastic on Instagram. Safi Lynch Therapy. Check her out. You get great stuff on therapy that affects immigrants. And I remembered when I was also around 1 year later. Yeah, I think I was 17 when in my neighborhood there was one of our friends' grandfather. He was 80. He was retired, 80 years old. Oh yes, that just reminded me. There's somebody I want to give a shout out to, and he was 80 years old, and after retirement, he's at home. We used to call him like, it was like this old school, old Rolling Stones, old school player. All the young kids always like, "Hey, what's up, grandpa? You respect this guy," because he had jokes. This man woke up one day and said he wants to go back to university. It's not like he was graduated, he had degrees, but he said he wanted to go get another degree. So he went and took the exams, the college exams. And if you know how Nigeria's college exams work, it's not that, he passed, and all of us in the neighborhood failed. 17, 18-year-olds, we all failed. But it's not that we failed. It's that most of the best colleges are in the southern part of Nigeria. So for you to get into those colleges, the cutoff mark is higher. Those colleges in the northern part of the country, it's lower. But we don't want to go to the north because of Muslim, the Islam, Christianity thing, the divisions and all that. It's a different country over there. So you don't want to go that far. And we didn't want to go that far. You don't want to go. Nobody picks schools that far away. So the language is, if you can't make the cutoff, you failed. That's how your family addresses you. That's how you get insulted. And then you hear of an 80-year-old man that passed into, took the exams and passed. So we're all ashamed. Instead of finding out his motivation, we didn't occur to us like ask this man, why are you going back to college? Why do you want to go to university? You're 80 years old. You've achieved everything in life. You have houses. You're wealthy. But why are you going back? You don't know. Nigerian men love to party, get a new wife. Doing that at that age, get like 3 more wives or whatever. Why is that? It didn't occur to me, but it was over 20 years later that I'm recording with this guest that it dawned on me that this man he felt he still had more to learn. So he was going back to learn. That was it. That was it for him. He had told us once or twice. But we at that teenage age, we didn't even realize what he was saying. But it would take over 20 years for me to now remember him talking about this and mentioning that my journey is not complete. So I want to go do this, and he's going back to do this. But to the teenagers, we were all ashamed that we lost for our goal. This was where our journey was supposed to start, and then this old man is beating us to this. So instead of asking him for help or advice, we won't even go near him after that. So yeah, so the foolishness of our age in that period made us back away from him instead of seeking more help. And down the line, it will still take years, decades for us to even for someone like me. I don't know if other people have even realized what he was trying to achieve. I don't know if he's alive today, because now he'll be over 100 years old if he's still alive. But it just dawned on me when I released the episode last week and I was listening to it, and I was like, wow, I talked about this and this is what happened, and so it affected me. So yeah, so there's so many ways that I've been a fool. I'm still a fool to an extent, because I'm learning, I'm changing, I'm unwiring my programming because of how I was raised. And yeah, until tomorrow, I will still be a fool in many people's eyes, and that's how it will be. Last thing I will wrap up with is I would like to acknowledge one of our elders who just passed away literally over an hour ago, Miss Dorothy Steele. She was, I think, the oldest elder on Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie. I don't know if she will be in the second Black Panther now that she just passed. Our sister Lupita Nyong'o posted about it. She was 80 years old when she started acting. So if anyone needs, let me say another 80-year-old again. So yeah, may her soul rest in peace. She's that's some great inspiration. That's where we end. And yeah, but I think people have said enough about today's proverb. I don't need to add anymore.
Thank you so much, Rafael. This is Simon speaking. I'm just grateful for your contribution and your leadership. And welcome everyone tomorrow, same time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, here on Clubhouse and also on YouTube. Have a beautiful day. Take good care of yourselves. Peace and love.
Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.